Promoters, here is a chance to boost your event or fete with MTV's irresistible television advertising specials. Book now and be wowed with party deals and good advertising coverage. Call our sales and marketing department on 440-8171 or via WhatsApp on 455-5718. You can also send an email at mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Caribjet, the most experienced travel agency company in Grenada, serving our clients and businesses for over 40 years. IATA accredited, we issue tickets on 280 airlines, representatives for Condor, the German airlines, and main agents for Virgin, KLM and Air France. We're specialists to the Middle East. Walk in to our ticket office at Maurice Bishop Highway, call 439-4444, WhatsApp 534-7755 or visit caribjet.com.
Fit for Life presents Subway Fitness Revolution 10, The Storm. Strikes at Monrouge Playing Field beginning Monday, 10th July. Monday to Thursday from 5 p.m. $60 gets you on the inside with 4 weeks of fitness and fun activities led by a team of local and international fitness experts. Activities include aerobics, dancercise, fitness challenges, heights, and our signature and highly anticipated Raw Day event. Attractive prizes and giveaways. Get fit and healthy. Lose weight. Build stamina for the summer and get in shape for Spice Mass 23. Register today at Fit for Life Medical in Grandance or Standard Bookstore on Lucas Street, St. George. 16 days of health and fitness activities. We shift towards national health and wellness. Grenada Fitness Revolution 10, The Storm. Endorsed by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Fitness Revolution 10 is sponsored by Subway Grenada, Dasani Water, Powerade, Vitamalt, Antillian Insurance, Flow, Greens Automotive, Pineapple Marketing and Communication, Allied Laboratories, Captain Harris Apartments, MTV, Emporio Grenada Limited, Sign Wizard, Mitchell's Health and Wellness, and Oro Mass Band.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to the MTV Evening News for Monday, the 17th of July. And the news headlines come to you in association with Courts Grenada Limited.
Wait and see, wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. Whenever we touching the vacancy, we just climb over the gate and see.
Boom! It's carnival time at Courts Ready Cash. So visit your nearest Courts Ready Cash for instant carnival prizes, tickets, and much more with your loan of $3,000 or over. Come home to Courts Ready Cash this carnival season and enjoy flexible payment terms, hassle-free service, and fast approval. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, your job letter, and 2 references. Simple as that. Follow Ready Cash on Facebook and Instagram for your updates and in our in-store carnival parties and our carnival workout sessions. It's time for carnival at Courts Ready Cash. Visit shopcourts.com for details. Come home to Courts Ready Cash. We are ready when you are.
Everybody push something in the air.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCroix Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Coming up in the news this evening, 2 young men found dead over the weekend. Police are investigating. Ashwin Richards sentenced to 28 years behind bars for a 2019 murder. Former union calling for Prime Minister Mitchell to intervene in long-standing Republic Bank dispute. And in sport, Grenada mourns junior football coach and football referee passing. We'll have details to those and other stories, also a look at the public forecast information. So right after the break, stay with us.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News comes to you compliment Nexa Credit Union. With you wherever your road leads.
Freedom is driven to pursue that passion that keeps you up at night and makes you smile in your sleep. Freedom is bold to embrace the possibilities that can open up your world and conquer new heights. Freedom is fabulous, with bits and pieces that enhance the quality of your life. Freedom is what you do with the flexibility to change path or direction when you need to. Freedom breeds ambition and purpose while having loads of fun along the way. But most of all, freedom is well deserved for the road traveled and the journey still to come. Unleash your freedom with Nexa Credit Union. Offer ends August 31st, 2023. Call us on 440-1354 or visit our website to pre-apply. Apply now. Freedom awaits.
Good evening, I'm Tony Julian with the details. Ashwin Richards will spend the next 23 years behind bars. He was sentenced on Monday by Justice Paula Guilford for the 2019 murder of his cousin Jerry Peters. The 33-year-old fisherman of Brazan St. George was found guilty of non-capital murder in March of this year. He'll serve out 23 years of the 28-year sentence, as he already served 5 years on remand. Richards was convicted of killing 39-year-old Peters, who resided at Beauséjour St. George after a carnival event on the 12th of August 2019. Peters succumbed to injuries sustained because of a stab wound to the left side of his chest. Richards was represented by attorney Anselm Clouden.
Ashwin's matter just came to an end. Of course, he was convicted by a judge and jury in June of this year. And today he was sentenced to 23 years, custodial sentence, 23 years in prison. It was a hard case, and the jury found him guilty of non-capital murder. But he had a few good things in his character that spoke to the sentence. There was a range of sentencing.
Clouden says Richards currently suffers from ill health.
There were other things he got credit for. Good behavior. He got his remand time back. So the nominal sentence was 28 years and reduced to 23 as a result of certain mitigating factors in his favor, such as time spent on remand, the case of the Costa Hall from the CCJ and Kalasharan from Mauritius at the Privy Council. You must give credit for remand time. Time spent on remand must be credited in a sentence.
Still with news from the court, Kellen Andrew was found guilty of non-capital murder on Monday. Andrew was arrested and charged in March 2019 with the stabbing death of Floyd Olive of Lamode, St. George. Reports are that 35-year-old Olive was stabbed sometime after 6 a.m. on Saturday, the 23rd of February, and again that's 2019, at a popular club in his neighborhood. An autopsy conducted on Monday, the 25th of February, revealed that Olive died as a result of a puncture wound to the chest. Andrew is being represented by attorney Ali Gill. Police have confirmed that they are investigating the death of 37-year-old Dennis Williams. Sometime after 7 o'clock on Monday morning, officers attached to the Criminal Investigation Department, or CID, in Grenville responded to reports where Williams' body was found at Conference Bay Road. On arrival, the male laborer was found motionless with not obvious marks of violence. Police say a post-mortem will be conducted and investigations are continuing. Meanwhile, on Monday morning, officers also responded to reports of a lifeless body at Woodlands, St. George. On arrival, 27-year-old Joshua Griffith was found motionless by the roadside. Police confirmed to our news desk that Griffith has a history of mental illness. A post-mortem will be conducted and police investigation into the matter is continuing. In other news this evening, heavy rains and flash flooding left one family in Guelph St. John counting their blessings after a large boulder crashed into their home on Saturday morning. A release from the Met Office on Friday had warned of a developing tropical wave expected to affect the Tri-Island state late on Friday night going into Saturday morning. Our news team visited the St. John family and filed a report.
When MTV News arrived at the scene on Saturday morning, only a portion of the wooden dwelling house was intact after a large boulder crashed into the house. Deborah Paul and her 4-year-old son, who were inside the home at the time of the incident, were plunged into mud and had to be saved by family members. They were rushed to the St. John's Polyclinic, then transferred to the General Hospital, where they were treated for minor injuries and discharged a few hours later. The husband, Kingsley Paul, spoke to MTV about the incident.
Well, I came home from work and I realized there was a lot of rain and stuff. So I came home, I went inside as usual. Kids and wife, and they was still sleeping. So I hear something coming along in the back of the house. And I went to look to see what going on. I realized like something come along, but some stuff come along and stay behind here because there was concrete structure there sitting. And while I was in the back, I saw the slide coming down, like when you leave. So I was like, tell me girls, how to get out, run.
Paul says seeing his wife and son covered in mud was a scary experience.
So they end up, I push them, so I said I don't want to leave. But in that situation now, part of the fluid gone out and my wife and my son come along with it, which I didn't even know. Is when one of my daughters said, Daddy, Mommy out looking for, I can't find her, looking for my little boy, I can't see him. When I come outside, I realize, well, my son cover, pick him up, give me daughter, looking for my wife, she cover him more, I can take her out. That was a really kind of, that part of my time I was really, it's the only time in my life I feel scared and I feel kind of helpless. Try to help my family, save my family, because if I wasn't there, trust me.
Deborah's mother is thankful that her grandson's injuries were not life-threatening, and she is forever grateful that they are alive.
While I did, the neighbor come and she said to Ball, oh God, me Susie, come, Deborah's trapping him out, I said, what? So he sent me my leave and I run up, I see the little baby coming down, full of mud. He sees I have that child. and that child only mud you seen, and the child mouth full of mud, he can't even close his mouth.
On Saturday, the family was visited by Member of Parliament for St. John, Honorable Kerrine James, who told our news desk that a needs assessment was done and the family is comfortably resting at a relative's house. MP James says her office is collaborating with the Ministry of Social Development to ensure that a more comfortable temporary solution is realized.
So we're working very speedily to find a location for them so at least they could, rest their head in a more comfortable manner and have enough space for them to maneuver and acclimatize themselves and, just to recuperate. So social development, we are looking for any available homes or rentals within the constituency that is available, and we would, through social development program, they would actually cover the cost of rent for them for at least 3 months.
The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, recorded floodings in all parishes and landslides and fallen electrical wires in some areas. Some roads were made impassable due to fallen debris. For MTV News, I am Lishelle Murray.
Meanwhile, heavy flooding in River Road remains a concern for many.
Parliamentary representative for the town of St. George, Peter David, was on site assessing the situation. He is calling on the government of Grenada to complete the River Road project, which he says was started under the previous administration. He says once the project is incomplete, the area will continue to flood during the rainy season.
I want to first of all start by thanking the government, the previous government, for the project, the river project. The fact is, without that project, lives could have been lost, more property would have been damaged, and more inconvenience caused not only to the people in the area but to the general public. So I want to thank the previous government for the work that was done and finally getting the project underway. At the same time, I believe it's important that the project is completed. I believe that today's experience in the River Road area shows that that project is an extremely important project because the areas where the road, the wall was completed were the areas that had no flooding. The areas where the wall is incomplete is the area where the flooding took place. So I urge the government to move quickly, move expeditiously to ensure that the project is completed, make sure all of the people in the area are well serviced, and to ensure that we get this project completed as soon as possible.
MP David also visited H.A. Blaze Street, St. George, where part of a structure collapsed on Friday.
H.A. Blaze Street is one of the most the busiest streets in the town of St. George, and it's important that we get this project completed quickly. I want to commend the ministry. I noticed yesterday the ministry was on the side. I know that they've started to do things to get this project on the way. I know there's an engineer working on it. So I want to commend them for the quick response to the project. But I want the project to be completed soon. I hope that the project is completed soon.
David says he is willing to join forces with the government to work towards a solution.
As MP for the town of St. George, it is not only a thing I will do, but it is my duty to work with the government. And I hope the government works through me. I find from time to time things are done in the town of St. George, and I'm the last to know. As the MP for the town of St. George, it is my duty to work with them, but it's also their duty to work along with me. We have to work in collaboration. That is how the system is structured, and I'm prepared to do anything to help them, be it to canvass the neighborhood, be it to speak to the residents, be it to work with the people in the area.
MTV News, Donessa Pantru.
And also in the MTV News this evening, the opposition New National Party NNP is calling for united efforts to address surging crime throughout Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. In a release on Saturday, opposition leader Dr. Keith Mitchell stated, and I quote here, "We at the NNP acknowledge an urgent need for comprehensive measures to address these issues and restore the peace and security to our society, of which we are all accustomed." NNP firmly believes that a collaborative approach, engaging various stakeholders, is crucial in effectively combating the crime situation and ensuring the safety of our citizens and visitors alike. Unquote. The release further highlighted proposals that the opposition believes will assist in curbing the situation. These include a call for the implementation of programs for the youth, support for the Royal Grenada Police Force, assistance for vulnerable families, and an invigorated front from judges. This is the MTV News for Monday. The first segment here, of course. We'll be back with you with more after the break.
The first segment of the MTV Evening News came to you in association with Nexa Credit Union. With you wherever your road leads.
Freedom is driven to pursue that passion that keeps you up at night and makes you smile in your sleep. Freedom is bold to embrace the possibilities that can open up your world and conquer new heights. Freedom is fabulous, with bits and pieces that enhance the quality of your life. Freedom is what you do with the flexibility to change path or direction when you need to. Freedom breeds ambition and purpose while having loads of fun along the way. But most of all, freedom is well-deserved for the road traveled and the journey still to come. Unleash your freedom with Nexa Credit Union. Offer ends August 31st, 2023. Call us on 440-1354 or visit our website to pre-apply. Apply now. Freedom awaits.
Isn't there something you've always wanted but just can't afford? The National Lotteries Authority's Lotto Jackpot is $140,000. Play today for chances at fulfilling that dream. Lotto. Play and win a lot of money.
Do you know that you can lower your electricity bill by switching to energy-efficient appliances? By switching to energy-efficient appliances, you can help lower your energy usage. Your refrigerator, for example, is amongst the highest energy-consuming appliances within your home as it remains running throughout the day and night. Switching to an energy-efficient refrigerator can lower your electricity bill by up to 40%. As an individual consumer, I cannot impact global fuel prices. However, I can ease the burden of rising fuel rates by switching to energy-efficient appliances. What can you do?
Grenlink, energizing our Grenada.
The second segment of the MTV Evening News comes to you in association with the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited has the credit cards to suit your needs. Choose any one of our 3 Visa credit cards, Classic, Infinite, or Signature, and enjoy the affordability, security, and convenience they all offer. Get value for your money with Visa Reward Points. The more you spend, the more points you earn. Co-op Bank is giving you options. You have the choice. We've got the cards. Tailor-made just for you. Visit www.grenadacoopbank.com for more information or call or visit any one of our retail banking units.
Welcome home. Welcome back. Well, it's been nearly 1 month since employees of Republic Bank Grenada Limited started strike action over what workers believe is the bank's unwillingness to conclude an agreement involving salary increases. Former president of the Commercial and Industrial Workers Union, George Mason, says that the bank's stance is an attack on Grenada's sovereignty and a refusal to negotiate in good faith.
I ask and I make a special plea that the Prime Minister intervene in this matter, because this thing has national security implications. This thing can degenerate into a national security issue. So I'm begging the Prime Minister to intervene, because we need to have this matter resolved. This is the third week. And if this thing is not resolved soon, the visitors who are coming for the holiday will rethink their position and don't come. We have to get this matter solved as soon as possible, and the bank must be made to respect the laws of the country.
The Minister of Labour made a recommendation that Republic Bank refused. Mason sees this as disrespect to the minister's authority.
The bank is hell-bent on punishing, one, customers, because the bank exists to be the trustee for customers' funds. Secondly, it is hell-bent on punishing the workers, who should be the ones in the custodians of the funds. Thirdly, they don't care one hoot about our government, our sovereignty. The bank operates in a sovereign country. The bank doesn't have sovereignty on its own. So when the minister makes a recommendation, the bank has to adhere.
Republic Bank Grenada Limited released a revised settlement offer in the long-standing dispute with workers represented by the Bank and General Workers Union. In a press release on Saturday, Republic Bank offered 9.25% for the period of the 1st of January 2020 to the 31st of December 2023. The bank is quoted as saying, this offer, when compounded with the bank's payment for performance merit arrangements, takes the payout to members of the bargaining unit on average to 16.23%, well over the 12.25% that the minister had tabled, unquote. The Bank and General Workers Union is yet to release a statement in response to the bank's offer. Directors of government entities and statutory bodies are engaged in a 3-day director education and accreditation training program at the Radisson Beach Resort. The aim of the program is to ensure that directors at government institutions possess the necessary skills to effectively perform their duties. Our trainee reporter, Azrael Abraham, has a report.
Speaking during Monday's opening, Minister for Finance, Honorable Dennis Cornwall, says the training is government's way of ensuring that directors are equipped with the necessary skills to prudently perform their functions.
As part of the transformation agenda, we aspire to have our statutory bodies and state-owned enterprise prudently governed in accordance with applicable standards as one of the key strategies to achieve consistently high performance over a prolonged period. Against this background, my government has demonstrated in its commitment to drawing on the country's best talent to deliver on its transformation agenda.
In July 2022, government called for interested citizens to volunteer to serve on the board of directors of various government entities. Directors are expected to become qualified as an accredited director with 1 year of appointment, engage in ongoing professional development, and abide by the code of professional conduct that will guide all directors serving on national entities.
I am sure that among the things that you will learn are your personal duty as a director to be, act honestly in good faith with a view towards the best interests of statutory bodies and state-owned enterprises on whose board you sit. And 2, exercise a degree of care, diligence, and skill that a reasonable, prudent person would exercise in similar circumstances.
The training is facilitated by the Chartered Governance Institute of Canada and the Eastern Caribbean Security Exchange. Upon completion, all 25 participants will be.
This investment in human capital development, because that's what it is, must bear immediate fruits. First and foremost, it is crystal clear an understanding of the mandate of your entity and how you should go about playing your part in pursuing that mandate. This includes actively participating in the development of the strategic and risk management plan as required by the Public Finance Management Act, and ensuring that the strategic plan is in alignment with the transformation agenda, articulated by the party's manifesto and enshrined in the government's policy. Second, your obligation to present accurate, relevant, and timely information as prescribed or required to oversight bodies.
This is the third group to be trained. 50 directors successfully completed the program earlier this year. Reporting for MTV News, I am Azrael Abraham.
The next 10 months will see the implementation of the Food Security Enhancement Project, spearheaded by the Ministry of Agriculture. Stakeholders engaged in a meeting on Friday, the 14th of July, to complete an implementation plan with the set timelines to ensure the smooth rolling out of the project. But let's get more on it in this report.
US $10 million is allocated for the project under the World Bank's Unleashing the Blue Economy Project, UBEC. Permanent Secretary within the Ministry of Agriculture is Aaron Francois.
We hope to implement that project to help boost food production in Grenada, to help build a sustainable food system. So apart from just increasing food production, but we want to build a foundation to enhance food production in a sustainable manner going forward.
The implementation meeting included officials from the Ministries of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Legal Affairs, Agriculture, Economic Development, and the Procurement Unit. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Perrin Johnson says discussions are being held to ensure that everyone involved in the direct execution of projects are brought up to speed.
This is an initiative that we will be basically rolling out. In fact, we have started with other ministries, but all ministries that are executing projects of this magnitude. We are speaking about an over $10 million US project for food security to make a major change. To me, what we will consider a game changer for the agriculture sector. So we are very delighted as a ministry to spearhead this initiative to ensure that the mandate of government is being met in terms of enhanced project implementation throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Implementation Minister, the Honorable Andy Williams, says the project will be a game changer within the agriculture sector.
It involves livestock, it involves freezing capacity, it involves funding for agro-processors, and it's funding projects for farming in general. But the bigger picture of this project is to really reduce food prices for us in Grenada.
Minister Williams says to date, they have identified 4 areas for installation of cold storage facilities, which he believes will bring added benefits to farmers and agro-processors.
It will help their products to remain more fresh, and it can increase the lifespan of the product. And in doing so, farmers can even store more products and not having to worry about wastage and spoilage. So that is the intention of the cold storage facilities. And just coming out from the meeting, we are fast-tracking the process already to ensure that we get those facilities and mount them up in a 10-month period so that farmers can benefit.
It is expected that the Food Security Enhancement Project will help build a sustainable food system within the Tri-Island states, providing numerous benefits for farmers and agro-processors. I am Sheldon Roach, reporting for MTV News.
That's the second segment of the MTV Evening News for Monday. It came to you in association with the Grenada Cooperative Bank.
second segment of the MTV Evening News came to you in association with the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited.
Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited has the credit cards to suit your needs. Choose any one of our 3 Visa credit cards, Classic, Infinite, or Signature, and enjoy the affordability, security, and convenience they all offer. Get value for your money with Visa Reward Points. The more you spend, the more points you earn. Co-op Bank is giving you options. You have the choice. We've got the cards. Tailor-made just for you. Visit www.grenadacoopbank.com for more information or call or visit any one of our retail banking units.
Welcome home.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Pitimaknik?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you know that you can lower your electricity bill by switching to energy-efficient appliances? By switching to energy-efficient appliances, you can help lower your energy usage. Your refrigerator, for example, is amongst the highest energy-consuming appliances within your home as it remains running throughout the day and night. Switching to an energy-efficient refrigerator can lower your electricity bill by up to 40%. As an individual consumer, I cannot impact global fuel prices. However, I can ease the burden of rising fuel rates by switching to energy-efficient appliances. What can you do?
Grenlink, energizing our Grenada.
Business in 3 comes to you in association with GIDC, empowering the Spice Isle.
Welcome back. We now join Donella Houston for this week's Business in 3.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this week's edition of MTV's Business in 3, sponsored by the GIDC. Today we are speaking with Mr. Samuel Alexander, and he is the CEO of Ignite Flavors. And he's going to tell us about his products and how the GIDC has helped him on his business venture. Welcome, Mr. Alexander.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. So Ignite Flavors was one of the businesses I started during the pandemic. I was looking for ways of, earning other form of income. And one of the things I enjoyed was cooking. So I decided to make a sauce and try it among friends and family. But that sauce quickly catch on, and we moved from strength to strength. Right now, we primarily stock our tamarind sauce, which is a very versatile sauce. It's all natural. It can be used in a lot of different scenarios. We have other products. However, because of the customer demand, those quickly ran out. So we also do a mango sauce that would be coming on the market soon. So stay tuned for that. And we are looking to do other sauces, but in the meantime, we're building from one quality product to the next.
Okay, so just tell us, how has the GIDC helped you and your business? You can speak about the courses that you did and how that has helped you to develop into where you are today.
So the GIDC program was very beneficial for a few key reasons. The courses gave me a better appreciation of what it takes to run a business, especially on the accounting side, being able to price your product properly, making sure that you have good profit margins. Another thing was the networking. You got to meet other like-minded people, being able to communicate with them and learn from them. And on the financial side, with the grant, I was able to purchase some key pieces of equipment that helped me to, boost my production, as well as be able to capture very valuable markets. For people that want to order directly from us, although we prefer, going through the retail route, you can get the bottle at $15. You can reach out to us on Facebook, Ignite Flavors, or on Instagram at 473 Ignite Flavors. All right, and you would find us. You could always message us. You could have conversations about what you would like to see on the shelves going forward. So we encourage customer dialogue.
So there we have it, guys. We were speaking with Mr. Samuel Alexander of Ignite Flavors, and he was just telling us about some of his products and where you can find these products. So this is where we come to the end of MTV's Business in 3. I am your host, Donna the Hostin.
It's the MTV News Monday. Regional highlights are next.
Business in 3 came to you in association with GIDC, empowering the Spice Isle.
Do you have or plan to start a business or project in the agribusiness, tourism, health and wellness, ICT, or energy sectors? You too can qualify for investment incentives such as duty-free concessions, tax credits, and tax waivers and exemption. Just fill in the application form, Submit the relevant documents and your application can be processed in as little as 7 days. It's that simple. Contact us today to know more about investment incentives.
The third segment of MTV News is brought to you in association with Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it. Accessed using your debit card and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Welcome back. We now join Clifton James for this evening's Regional Roundup.
Good evening with tonight's MTV Regional Roundup. I am Clifton James. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves Monday said he expects mature discussions to take place during the two-day European Union and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States CELAC summit that gets underway in Belgium today. The EU CELAC summit is the first to be held in 8 years, and Gonsalves, who is CELAC pro tempore president, told reporters ahead of the deliberations that he expects the final communiqué would make reference to the issue of reparations for slavery. He told reporters outside the venue of the summit that he has already held talks with Charles Michel, the president of the EU Council, to see how we could finalise some issues in the declaration. Gonsalves said that there are several issues affecting the region he would like to discuss, including climate change, poverty, food security, reform of the global financial architecture, digital transition, and improved multilateralism. I am very hopeful that we will see a paragraph in the declaration addressing the historical legacies of native genocide and enslavement of African bodies and something toward reparative justice. St. Kitts and Nevis is planning to crack down on human traffickers who either smuggle people illegally into the country or use it as a transshipment point to facilitate the trade. Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs Garth Wilking told reporters at the recent Prime Minister's news conference that legislation has been created to deal with this pressing issue. We are trying to deal with the smuggling of persons into the Federation. We have created a standalone anti-smuggling bill and amendments to the Immigration Act and the Transnational Crimes Act to address this issue, which is becoming heightened and a more frequent national security matter, he said. St. Kitts and Nevis recently had to deal with a situation where a migrant boat which left Antigua and Barbuda with 30 Cameroonians on board sank in its territorial waters. 16 of the West Africans died at sea. 14 Cameroonians and their 2 alleged Antiguan human traffickers were brought to St. Kitts. In a June 11th press statement, the government said it granted Cameroonians asylum seeker certificates. Under the arrangements of their asylum seeker certificates, the government will house the migrants at an apartment complex for 90 days while their applications are being processed. The government said the migrants who had engaged in a hunger strike wanted to communicate with the US Embassy for the Eastern Caribbean and to be allowed to live with relatives and friends that are in Texas. Over in the British Virgin Islands, 124 persons recently took the oath of allegiance and pledge of loyalty to become British Overseas Territory citizens, BOTC, of the Virgin Islands. The pledges were administered at 2 ceremonies held at the Government House in Road Town, Tortola. In delivering congratulatory remarks, Governor John Ranking said he was happy to confer citizenship to the group who have made contributions to the territory. It gives me great pleasure to be part of an event where you are all committing yourselves loyally to new ties, which will stay with you for the rest of your lives. This is a highly enriching process from which you as individuals and the BVI as a territory will gain, he said. The Governor added the intermingling of cultures, different ways of thinking, different knowledge and different skills brings with it clear and tangible benefits to the community as a whole. Premier Dr. Natalio Wheatley addressed the new citizens by calling on them to be champions of unity. He further told, "What binds us together is our love for these Virgin Islands, our commitment to preserve our environment, defend our values, lend a helping hand where it is needed in our community, and our commitment to build these Virgin Islands to be the best it can." And certainly I call on you to epitomise that principle that the BVI is worth all of us protecting and defending it. You're up to date with the Regional Roundup. I am Clifton James.
This is the MTV Evening News. We'll be back with you after the break.
The third segment of MTV News was brought to you in association with Arise Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it, accessed using your debit card and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
You're watching the MTV Evening News. Sporting highlights are next.
Well, what do you know? The NLA is giving you an additional chance at winning in its Crazy Cash Second Chance Parish Giveaway. Yes! Starting June 10th, enter your non-winning Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Playway tickets valued at $12 or more in a single purchase for a chance to win over $25,000 in cash. Be sure to write your name, address, and contact info on your entries before dropping them in the NLA branded box at your favorite authorized agent. Draws will be conducted every Friday starting June 23rd to July 21st, 2023 for every parish. That's a total of 105 draws of $250 each. Promotion ends July 14th, 2023. Must be 18 or older to participate. Other terms and conditions apply. NLA, making your dreams come true.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers. Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 Year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
Fit for Life presents its 11th annual Kids Summer Program 2023 with the theme Move Your Body, Stimulate Your Mind. From July 10th to August the 11th, 5 weeks of educational and fun activities for the kids ages 3 to 14, executed by certified, experienced teachers, fitness trainers, and other professionals. Activities include physical fitness, diet, nature walks, martial arts, lessons in renewable energy, food safety and security, recycling, reducing and reusing renewable energy, healthy cooking, fitness and nutrition, games, career building, academics, and so much more. Only $290 EC. Sibling discounts and early bird specials available. For more information, call 404-9355, 405-9357 or 439-3488. Fit for Life Kids Summer Program. Move your body, stimulate your mind.
Grenada mourns junior football coach and football referee. That story and more coming up in our sporting segment.
The MTV Evening Sports is brought to you in association with Courts, bringing value home.
A special evening to you now, sporting fans. Here's Sheldon Roach with this evening's sporting highlights.
Grenada football is mourning the untimely passing of Finley Fletcher, a true pillar of football in Grenada. As a junior football coach in the Ministry of Sports, a long-standing GFA referee, coach, and a dedicated venue coordinator, Fletcher's contributions to the sport were immeasurable. His recent collaboration with the GFA in ensuring fields were prepared for Premier League and other matches demonstrated his unwavering commitment and passion for football. The Grenada Football Association said in a Facebook post that the association will always remember him for his pleasant demeanor and eagerness to help in any capacity. And the entire football fraternity extends our deepest condolences to his family and friends during this difficult time. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Team Grenada started well at the NACAC age group under 13 and under 15 championships in the Dominican Republic. Nickel Abraham struck goal in the under 15 boys shot put with a personal best of 13.97 meters, while Cheyenne Phillip earned a silver medal in the boys high jump with a clearance of 1.7 meters. Overall, Cheyenne sits in 6th place with 2,163 points, and Nickel is in 9th place with 2,139 points. In the girls' competition, Rachel Etienne is in 15th place with 1,637 points, while Kayla Christopher is in 22nd place with 1,564 points. The 4-member team left the country for North America, Central America, and the Caribbean Age Group Championship on Friday. More updates on the team's performance will be in a later sports news case. West Indies again failed to come to grips with the spin of India and went under by a big margin on the third day of the opening match on Friday. India's legendary off-spinner Ravi Chandran Ashwin took 7 wickets and left-arm spinner Rajendra Jadeja grabbed 2 as the visitor recorded the victory in the final session. Alec Athanaz made the top score of 28 for the second time in his debut on home soil, and Jason Holder was not out on 20, but Ashwin was outstanding with 7 wickets for 71 runs from 21.3 overs, and match figures of 12 wickets for 131 runs. The hosts were bowled out for 130 in their second innings. I just think we let ourselves down with the bat in the first innings. Scoring only 150, we knew the pitch was going to get drier and spin more, and so that the first innings total was not good enough, West Indies skipper Craig Brathwaite said. What disappointed me most was that I did not get any runs. I think in this team I have to lead from the front, and that's my job. I have got to do better. In the first innings, 1 or 2 dismissals, especially at particular times, weren't good for us. We were getting the partnership just before lunch, and we lost a wicket the ball before. There were situations in the game, at times when we lost it, but for me, I think as a senior guy, I've got to lead the way. Hosts Trinidad and Tobago are the champions of the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars Under-19 Women's Championship again. A combination of the batting of Janaba Joseph and the bowling of a West Indies Under-19 teammate Shalini Samaru enabled TNT to clinch a 37-run win against Windward Islands in the final on Saturday. Chasing 107 to win at the Frank Worrell Memorial Ground on the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies, Samaru grabbed 3 for 11 from her allotted 6 overs, and Samara Ramnath 2 for 12 from her 6 overs. And the Windwards were bowled out for 69 in 27 overs in the 30 overs aside one-day tournaments. It was a heartbreaking loss for Windwards after they led the league table, but only left-hander Zeta James with the top score of 25, and a captain and West Indies women's teammate Janelia Glasgow with 12 reached double figures in a second wicket stand of 43. Earlier, Joseph, opening the batting, led the way with 43 and was one of only 2 batsmen that reached double figures before TNT were bowled out for 106 in 28.5 overs after they were put into bat. I am Sheldon Roach, and that's it from MTV News.
The latest in sport there for you and viewers. When we return, we'll have the latest public forecast information and then a recap of the headlines.
The MTV Evening Sports was brought to you in association with Quartz, bringing value home.
MTV Weather Report comes to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
We believe in possibilities. We are strong. Together, we are Grenada.
Good Monday evening, viewers, once again with the weather forecast and meteorologist Wayne Williams. 1 or 2 scattered showers during the morning time throughout the island, but that changed in the afternoon as we saw lots of brilliant sunshine affecting the area. Possible change again later tonight with some low-level moisture bringing some sharp showers. At present, that next tropical wave continues to move towards the island. It's significant convection with it, so we may be seeing some more showers developing by the end of the week into the weekend. Again, a dense haze mostly over the north central Atlantic, but we're going to see that lovely horizon we've been experiencing. That is going to disappear as not actually disappear, but it is going to we're going to see some haze entering the region in the next 24 hours. Scattered convection over the southern Caribbean islands. Line of showers is also making its way towards the islands. Will bring some showers mostly over the northern islands during the night time. Here at home on Monday night, expect some brief sharp showers throughout the night time. Easterly winds between 10 and 20 miles or minimum temperature of 24. The moon is going to rise tomorrow morning at 6:27 and set tomorrow evening at 7:34. Scattered showers are in the forecast for Tuesday, mostly in the morning period, but that we're going to see some sun in and between, but it's going to be interrupted by those scattered showers. Easterly winds between 12 and 24 miles per hour. Moderate seas, 4 to 5 foot waves in open waters. 5:50 is the sunrise. 6:35 sunset. The temperature will climb to 30 and feel more like 31. Scattered showers for Port of Spain. Afternoon showers in Bridgetown and scattered showers also in Kingston. Lots of clouds in Miami. Thunderstorms in New York and cloudy conditions would affect London. Here at home, isolated showers are in the forecast for Wednesday. Partly cloudy on Thursday and Friday. Well, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. We still do expect about a 40-50% chance of showers. At that time, from Sunday, we could be seeing generally fair conditions through to the middle of next week. That is it for me for Monday night, folks. Have yourself a great night. Remember, you can join me again right here on Tuesday.
MTV Weather Report was brought to you in association with Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
And now to end the news, a recap of the headlines. 2 young men were found dead over the weekend. Police are investigating. Ashwin Richards has been sentenced to 28 years behind bars for a 2019 murder. Former Union is calling for Prime Minister Mitchell to intervene in long-standing Republic Bank dispute. And in sport, Grenada mourns junior football coach and football referee. We've had details to those and other stories a look to at the public forecast information. And so now, on behalf of the news and production departments, I'm Tony Julian. We all thank you for viewing and wish you a good night.
At Bailey's Funeral Home, we understand the pain and grief you experience when you suffer the loss of a loved one. For years, we have helped thousands of families get through that difficult time by providing professional funeral services to meet their unique needs. Whether your choice is cremation or burial, call us or come into our new facility on the Carenage and meet with our arrangers in a spacious and comfortable environment. Choose from a wide variety of quality coffins and caskets at prices from as low as $1,900. At Bailey's Funeral Home, we believe that no one should feel overwhelmed or anxious about funeral expenses. So when it's time to plan a funeral, join a burial society, or make pre-arrangements when service and costs matter, call Bailey's Funeral Home at 440-2558 or visit us at baileysfuneralhome.org. Bailey's Funeral Home, still providing the perfect tribute any family can afford.
Francis Bernard James, also known as Charlie, Presley, and Burn the Pling, of Coast Guard, who resided at Diamond St. Mark, passed away on Thursday, 29th June 2023, at the age of 75. He was the father of Johnny Phillip in Grenada, Venus James Jack in the USA, and Aaron James in Trinidad. Grandfather of Leanna, Jared, Shantae, Anna, Jeremiah, Juliana, Koala, and Naomi, brother of Joan, Joyce, Marilyn, Gregory, Martin, and Joy, brother-in-law of Alston George, Noel Methven, and Cletus Lewis, nephew of Matthew, Harvey, Lynn, and Deli, uncle of many including Javid, Shermana, Leslie Brother B. Modeste, Constable number 228 Kelly George, Jason, Londa, and Tyrone. Many other relatives and friends, including Merle James, George Holder, Michael Mark, the Caliste, Francis, Augustine, Julian, and James families of Coast Guard and Victoria, the Barry family of Rosehill, the matron and staff of Charles Memorial Home, and friends and neighbours of Victoria, Coast Guard, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Francis Bernard James of Coast Guard, who resided at Diamond St. Mark, will take place on Wednesday, July 19th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Victoria St. Mark, and interment will be at the Coast Guard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Augustine Philip Thomas, also known as Philip Edwards and Pipeman, a well-known plumber of Monjaloo, who resided at Snug Corner and the Bocas St. George, died on Saturday, July 1st, 2023, at the age of 66. Left to mourn are his 3 children, Christine Frank, also known as Errol, employed at Sandals Resort, Michael Frank, also known as Plastic, employed at Grenada Breweries Limited, and Chantel Lawrence, employed at Food Fair Coronage. 3 grandchildren, Genevieve and Malik Frank, and Zonaya Sylvester. Brothers and sisters, Anthony Thomas, residing in Orlando, Florida, Arnold Mark, residing in Trinidad, Peter, Captain Bernard and Mikey in Grenada, Bernadette Cobb in the USA, Elizabeth Smart in Trinidad, Anna Griffith, and Velma DeCoto in Grenada. Many nieces and nephews, including Lindley Edwards, Alfian Griffith, Maudlin Edwards, Betty Logie, Abiel Griffith, Kim, Marcia Cobb, Lisa and Nasli Grappi, Marlon Thomas and Kenny Pascal. In-laws Leslie Cobb, Alistair Griffith, and Alberta Thomas. Daughter-in-law Risa Mason. Other relatives and friends including Adina Protein, Clinton Bailey and family, the Frame family, Medicor, Wolf, Bishop Vivian Smith and family, Wendy Gooding and family, Roll Ross, Michelle, David Shop at Snug Corner, Stacy, Patsy, Jenna's Garage, Dale, Uncle Bing, Gunshot, the Elderly Club of the Bocas, the management and staff of Bailey's Funeral Home, the Edwards, Thomas, Griffith, John and Redhead families, and neighbours and friends of Monjaloo, Snug Corner, Bolio, Willis, Boca, St. Paul's and the Bocas and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Augustine Philip Thomas, also known as Philip Edwards and Pipeman, of Monjaloo, who resided at Snug Corner and the Bocas St. George, a well-known plumber, will take place on Wednesday, 19th July at 1:30 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Trinity Worship Centre, the Bocas St. George, and interment will be at the Monjaloo Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Terry Foray, also known as Puto, of St. David Street, Victoria St. Mark, passed away on Saturday, 17th June 2023 at the age of 57, left to mourn his children Raquel Mark, Ryan Crosby, and Marcel Morris, grandfather of Ranil and Rana Mark, brother of Terence Farrier, Sion Farrier in Trinidad, Teresa Earl in the USA, and Marva Modeste in Canada. In-laws Eugene Earl and Edgar Modeste. Uncle of Sherlana Pear, Melissa and Edwin Modeste, Farah, Davidson, Devon, Deron and Jasmine Mathlin, Zeta Earl, Neil Papasan St. Louis, Raphael Rampa Forsyth, and Dunda George. Caregiver Hilary Alexander. Other cousins, relatives, and close friends in Grenada, Trinidad, and England, including Tahira and Ethan Modeste, Albert Forsyth and Carol Forsyth, Dana Mathlin, Norris Paul, Karen Watts, Rollet Edwards, Carlton Legal, Christine St. John, Raphael Arthur, Wayne Colin Leach, Othma Watts Leach, and friends and neighbours of Victoria and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Terry Foray, also known as Puto, of St. David Street, Victoria St. Mark, will take place on Wednesday, 19th July at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Anglican Church St. Mark, and interment will be at the Coast Guard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Jasmine Lewis, also known as Nanny, of Grove St. John, a member of the Anglican Mothers Union, passed away on Thursday, 22nd June 2023, at the age of 92. She was the mother of Kelvin, also known as Boogie, Claudette, Kelvin, also known as Pussy, Cynthia, Tony, Rachel, and Gemma, sister of Ivy Julian in the UK, grandmother of Shamika, Damien, Yorkie, Tet, Simone, KL, and Roxanne, great-grandmother of Kalishi, mother-in-law of Dane, Stanley, and Anne-Marie. Many nieces and nephews, including Suzanne, June, Debbie, Teacher Carnis, Brian, Mike, Kestron, and Sheldu. Caregivers Wendy and Cassandra. Other relatives and friends including the Small and Ferguson families of Grove, Auntie Millie, Pussy, Kenny, Dawn in the UK, Mikey, the Henry family of Grove, Nen Toyley, Hermelin, Loris Dabrio, Floyd and family, Cuthbert and family, Denise and family, members of the Anglican community, and friends, relatives, and neighbors of Grove and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Jasmine Lewis, also known as Nenny, of Grove St. John, will take place on Wednesday, 19th July at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Grove Anglican Church, and interment will be at the Anglican Churchyard Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lakpa Brothers Funeral Home. Mavis Coutain of Cherry Hill St. George passed away on Saturday, 1st July 2023, at the age of 82. She was the mother of Shirma Belgrave, Patricia Coutain, Alicia Coutain, and Carol Coutain. Several grands, great-grands, and great-great-grandchildren. Sister of Doreen Felix, residing in Trinidad and Tobago. Many nieces and nephews. Other relatives, cousins, and close friends including Selwyn Maxwell, John Wells, Lorraine Maxwell, Nurse Ruth Bishop, Mrs. Yvette John and family, the Hackett family, and friends and neighbors of Cherry Hill and surrounding areas. The memorial service and interment of the late Mavis Coutain of Cherry Hill St. George will take place on Wednesday, July 19th at 11 a.m. Service will be held at the Garden of Remembrance Funeral Chapel, Cemetery Hill St. George's, according to Roman Catholic rites. No flowers by request of the family. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lakwa Brothers Funeral Home. Carlton Sebastian Alexis, also known as Carlton, of Craigston, Carriacou, who resided in the United Kingdom, passed away on Tuesday, June 6, 2023 in the UK, at the age of 78. He was the husband of Dr. June Alexis, his loving wife, father of Che and Damien Alexis, grandfather of Shanice, Miles, Cian, and Eric Alexis, brother of Paul Drummond, Winston Rogers, and Helen Baird, uncle of many including Pam Blackwood, Pat Alexis, also known as Pato, Karen and Steve, also known as Buggy, close cousin of many, Kervin Steele, Theo Alexis, George Alexis, Princess Mackenzie, Bubbles, Crankers, Knack, Vincent, Toya, Toto, Monica, Amy, Nestor, Ronnie, Angela, Todd, and Redhead. Close friend of Joe Cato, Raphael Stanislaus, D. Friday, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, and Winston. Other relatives and friends including the Alexis families, the Brown families, the Curry family, the Drummond family, Michael Alexander, Lacroix and family, Theo Alexis and family, Kervin Steele and family, Alex, Ruby Noel, Cecil and Pat Hollingsworth, and friends and neighbors in the United Kingdom and Craigston, Carriacou, too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Carlton Sebastian Alexis, also known as Carlton, of Craigston, Carriacou, who resided in the United Kingdom, will take place on Thursday, July 20th at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Francis Anglican Church, Harveyvale, and interment will be at the Alexis Family Cemetery, Belmont, Carriacou. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Bernard Buckmeyer, also known as Strongman, of Pedmotar St. David, who resided at Montgelou St. George, passed away on Friday, 23 June 2023, at the age of 67. left to mourn his wife Petrolina Gibson, children Natalie Bridgman, Lanessa and Jonathan Gibson, brothers and sisters Raymond Buckmeyer, Rosalind Kennedy, Bob Buckmeyer, Terry Buckmeyer, Deborah Francis Alexis, and Wilfred Buckmeyer, grandson Easton Marcus Gibson, brothers-in-law James Kennedy and Neil Alexis, sisters-in-law Barbara Buckmeyer and Jackie Buckmeyer, aunt-in-law Elaine Buckmeyer in Canada, aunt Anne Buckmeyer and family of River Road, many nieces and nephews too numerous to mention, other close relatives and family including Alice Gibson and family, Dwan Noel, Mrs. Valda Brown, Bowen Louiseau and family, the Courtney family, James Park and family, Gentle D. Gale and family, all of Monjaloo, Norge Mitchell and family of Pedmotor, Althea Amady of Hopevale, Jefferson Niles and family of Westerhall, Stephen Johnson and family of Westerhall, Lieben Clark, the Malin Smith family in the USA and England, Eugene Julian and family of Pedmotor, Mr. Carlisle Gabriel of Woburn, Doreen Bain of Marianne, the Bridgman family of Monthorn, and friends and family of Monjaloo, Marianne, Pedmotor, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Bernard Buckmeyer, also known as Strongman, of Pedmotor St. David, who resided at Monjaloo St. George, will take place on Thursday, July 20th at 2 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the St. Vincent Anglican Church, Monjaloo St. George, and interment will be at the Monjaloo Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Anacita Guy, also known as Rika Frank and Marty Rose of Vendham St. George, passed away on Tuesday, July 4th, 2023, at the age of 94. She was the mother of Kenneth and Fletcher Frank, grandmother of Karina, Kim, Kellon, Francis, Darren, Ron, Billiana, Chad, Camille, Cade, and Jalissa, great-grandmother of 26, sister of Clifton Guy in Trinidad, mother-in-law of Donnery and Deborah, aunt of Richard, Dixon, Dunbar, Xavier, Cuthbert, Irma, Daphne, and Angela. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends, including the Frank family of Vendham, New Hampshire, and Boca, the Walker and Telesford families of Vendham, the Gibson family of the Bocas, the staff and residents of Hillsview Home, and friends and neighbors of Vendham and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Anacita Guy, also known as Rika Frank and Marty Rose, of Vendham St. George, will take place on Thursday, July 20th at 11 a.m. Funeral service will be held at Our Lady Help of Christians Catholic Church, Beaulieu, and entombment will be at the Vendham Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island, private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment. As you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest, visit or call Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
Rita McIntyre of the Fall Edge Grand Arms St. George passed away on Friday, 30th June 2023, at the age of 81. She was the beloved wife of Curtis McIntyre, also known as McCoy, mother of Christopher Hall Monroe, Nixon McIntyre, and Dwight McIntyre, stepmother of Janet Fleming, mother-in-law of Rona McIntyre and Gillian Monroe, grandmother of Neil and Bobby Duncan, Danielle, Jordan and Nathan McIntyre, and Everly in Canada, sister of Marjorie Walker, Winston Williams Hall, Joan Lacrette, and Peter Williams, aunt of Maureen, Sharon, Pamela, Janice, Ruth Ann, Jonathan, Marcia, Abina, Lloyd, Junior, Gary, Jaburi, Victor, Kathian, and Kellen. Grand aunt of many, including Sean, Jermina, Shalana, Sophia, Mariama, and Orville. Sister-in-law of Cecil Walker, Winston Lacrette in the UK, and Eastlyn Williams in the USA. Many relatives and friends including Auntie Lou, Ben Hall, the Hall, Telesford and Reuben families of Retreat, Agnes Vivag and family, Paula Forteau, Priscilla Duncan, Linus Antwine, Teacher Sonia, Sherman, Claudia, Bernice, Yvonne, Danisha, Rosalind Roseau Mason, Norma Williams, Roy Coutain, the pastor and members of the Iberian Assembly of Churches, the McIntyre, Charles, Humphrey, McSween, Miller, Neptune, Quash and St. Louis families of Grand Aunts, and friends and neighbors of Retreat, River Road, Belmont, Grand Aunts and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Rita McIntyre of the Fall Edge Grand Aunt St. George will take place on Friday 21st July at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Gateway Assembly, Point Celine, St. George, and interment will be at the Grand Aunt Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Celine Edwards of Woodland, St. George, a well-known attorney at the law office of George E.D. Klein, passed away on Thursday, July 6, 2023, at the age of 31. Left to mourn are her siblings Crystal Klein, Deloney and Emile Edwards, Danielle St. Bernard, Sindra and Cavell Winsborough, and Ryan Patrick. Nieces and nephew Nia Chase, Carter and Melody Edwards, and Maya Peters. Her staff of the law office of George E.D. Klein, and other loving staff Margaret Caliste and Julius Alexander. Many other close cousins, friends, and relatives, including Her Excellency Dame Cecile Lagrenard, Justice of Appeal Malcolm Holdip and family, George Klein and family in New York, Sedma Klein and family in Canada, Nakia, Gabrielle and the Whitehall family in Barbados, Akil Gill and family in Barbados, the Crawford family in Barbados, Dia Robertson and the Robertson family in New York, Damika Lambert and family, Donneil Andrew and family of Marquis St. Andrew, and the entire legal fraternity in Grenada and members of the legal fraternity in the OECS. The funeral of the late Celine Edwards of Woodland, St. George, will take place on Friday, 21st July at 12:30 p.m. Funeral service will be held at the Grenada Trade Center, Montrouge, St. George, according to Catholic rites, and entombment will be at the Grand Aunt Cemetery. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Catherine Matthew Alexis, also known as Miss Erica, of Guave Estate, St. John, passed away on Friday, June 30th, 2023, at the age of 83. She was the mother of Avis, Lisa, Brenda, and Kenwin, also known as Ballhead, grandmother of Oscar, Darwin, Darvina, Karina, Jana, Lorianne, Theron, and Nisa, great-grandmother of Kyle, Zaya, Lyman, Janae, Zion, Michael, Morgan, Ashley, Amari, Tia, TJ, and Zaid, sister of Ennis in Trinidad, Sylvia in England, Florence and Bernard in Grenada. Many nieces and nephews, including Floris St. Louis, Nellis Menz, Desiree Matthew, and Raymond Beast Matthew. Other relatives and friends, including Ermin Raymond, Barbara Lewis, Maureen Lewis, Joy Chance, Crispin Alexis, Shawnell Douglas, Corinne Mitchell, the priest and parishioners of Florida Catholic Church, the Matthew, George, Alexis, and Mans families, and neighbors and villagers of Waterloo, Loretto, Guave Estate, and surrounding communities. The funeral of the late Catherine Matthew Alexis, also known as Miss Erica, of Guave Estate, St. John, will take place on Friday, 21st July at 1 p.m. Funeral service will be held at St. Peter's Catholic Church, Guave, followed by private cremation. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Joan Lanisha Mark, also known as Norma John, and Mother Norms, of Lamouth St. Patrick, who resided at Coast Guard St. Mark, passed away on Saturday, 8th July 2023, at the age of 86. The funeral arrangements for the late Joan Lanisha Mark, also known as Norma John and Mother Norms, of Lamode St. Patrick, who resided at Coast Guard St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Ivor Slocum, also known as Fox, of Laborie St. George, died on Thursday, July 13, 2023, at the age of 86. The funeral arrangements for the late Ivor Slocum, also known as Fox, of Laborie St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Joycelyn Pear, née Felix, of Harfords Village, who resided at Hope City St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 8th July 2023, at the age of 83. The funeral arrangements for the late Joycelyn Pear, née Felix, of Harfords Village, who resided at Hope City St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Justice Dame Monica Joseph, retired puisne judge of Lansopine St. George, passed away on Thursday, July 6, 2023, at the age of 89. The funeral arrangements for the late Justice Dame Monica Joseph, retired puisne judge of Lansopine St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Shawnee Pascal of Woburn St. George died on Monday, July 10, 2023. The funeral arrangements for the late Shawnee Pascal of Woburn St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Helena Paul, also known as Auntie Mina, of Boca St. George, who resided at Petmotar St. David, passed away on Thursday, July 6, 2023, at the age of 101. The funeral arrangements for the late Helena Paul, also known as Auntie Mina, of Boca St. George, who resided at Petmotar St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Monica Ramona Rouget, also known as Nemna, of Munich St. Andrew, passed away on Friday, 7th July 2023, at the age of 94. The funeral arrangements for the late Monica Ramona Rouget, also known as Nemna, of Munich St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Kenton James, also known as Fat Boy, of Duquesne St. Mark, died on Saturday, 8th July 2023, at the age of 46. The funeral arrangements for the late Kenton James, also known as Fat Boy, of Duquesne St. Mark, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Cecilia Maria Mitchell Cummings, of Beaulieu and Monkgate St. George, who resided in the USA, passed away on Friday, June 30th, 2023, at the age of 67. The funeral arrangements for the late Cecilia Maria Mitchell Cummings of Beaulieu and Monkgate St. George, who resided in the USA, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Emmanuel Murray, also known as Rawle and Gopher, of Montrule St. Patrick, passed away on Friday, June 30th, 2023, at the age of 79. The funeral arrangements for the late Emmanuel Murray, also known as Rawle and Gopher, of Montrule St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Agatha Cynthia Noel of Adelphi Birchgrove St. Andrew passed away on Wednesday, 28th June 2023, at the age of 90. The funeral arrangements for the late Agatha Cynthia Noel of Adelphi Birchgrove St. Andrew will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Clint Thornhill, also known as Police, of Constantine St. George, passed away on Tuesday, 27th June 2023, at the age of 27. The funeral arrangements for the late Clint Thornhill, also known as Police of Constantine St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Royston Godfrey Jelliso, also known as Red George of Mardi Gras St. David, died on Thursday, 22nd June 2023, at the age of 56. The funeral arrangements for the late Royston Godfrey Jelliso, also known as Red George of Mardi Gras St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Rickelson Toussaint, also known as Rick Boy and Baby Boy of River Sally St. Patrick, passed away on Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, at the age of 20. The funeral arrangements for the late Rickelson Toussaint, also known as Rick Boy and Baby Boy of River Sally St. Patrick, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home. Catherine Lucille Frederick of Bellevue St. David, who resided in Canada, passed away on Saturday, 17th June 2023, at the age of 83. The funeral arrangements for the late Catherine Lucille Frederick of Bellevue St. David, who resided in Canada, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thank you for watching.